Hey, sister friend, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. It's me, Lindsay Nickel, and I cannot wait to share with you today's episode. I am going on a total riff. I am going outside of the box of what I normally do today. I normally have an outline for you. I walk you through steps or a process or thoughts or some sort of something for you to implement and tangibly go do in your recovery. And I don't even have a lesson of learning today. I am just totally riffing. We just got back from our annual beach vacation with our family, our boys. My husband and I take our boys to the Outer Banks in North Carolina every single summer, at least once. And we just got back yesterday and I actually unpacked. I already unpacked. So as I sat down to think about what I wanted to talk about today, I really wanted to talk about my experience there and freedom. And so I have no outline. I'm totally having a conversation with you today. No outline, just me and you, sis. So let's see where it takes us. Here we go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. There you are. It is so great to be in your ear today and to be back home. I don't know about you, but I love a good vacay, but I also love coming back home and getting back into a routine. And I don't mean a restrict my food over compulsive exercise routine. I don't mean that kind of routine, although I'm sure that resonates with you entirely. I mean just the routine, like sleeping in my own bed, recording my podcast and having coffee and reading my scriptures like on my furniture. I don't know. There's just something about being in your home. Am I right? Okay. Anywho, I'm totally going on a tangent today and just talking about my time away because I want to bring you hope, inspiration, and a vision. And my hope today is that parts of what I share, which I don't even know what I'm going to share yet, I'm just totally talking. Parts of what I talk about, I hope will bring a spark into your heart because I do believe that God has this way through me that he goes, you know what, this person needs to hear this today. And so, Lindsay, you're going to talk about it. And so today I wanted to reflect a little bit on my time away with my family. Last week, we went to the beach and gosh, girl, the beach used to be such a trigger for me. I would restrict my food and double down on all of my exercise a month, 2, 3 months prior to beach season, to bikini season. And then I would be so good before I left on vacation. And then I would go on vacation and tell myself, oh, you're going to be great and it's going to be wonderful. And you're allowed to have permission to have something nice because you're going to be on vacation. And so you can have the food out at the restaurant or whatever it may be, even though it terrified me. And guess what? I never had it because I never gave myself true permission to ever have it. And what would I do? I would come home and be like, oh, I splurged, when in reality, I never really did. And I would come home to restrict, repeat the cycle all over again. And I'm not saying that to trigger anyone here. I'm saying it to be honest and vulnerable with you. The more recovered, and I say more recovered simply because recovery is a journey. I fully believe in that. Truthfully, I believe in that. And if you've worked with me, if you're a client of mine, you know that I hold you through your journey. But it is ever evolving and changing because we as humans are constantly evolving and changing. We weren't meant to stay the same, nor were we meant to stay in the same body. And I constantly continue to change and evolve. And when I went back to the beach this year, it was strikingly apparent that I was a completely different human. And I'm not saying that every year it hasn't been relatively so from what I was just talking about, like constantly over exercising before I go. Like none of that has happened in quite a few years, actually. But this year was like a different human. And I say all that to say, and I wanted to talk about this simply because if where you're at right now feels like you can't possibly get out of this place, you feel like you're struggling and you just will never be anything other than where you are now, that is a total lie from the enemy. Okay, a total lie from the enemy. Because sis, to me, freedom, and I talk about freedom because we just celebrated 250, America's 250th. How cool is that? Freedom is when something that used to scare you doesn't scare you anymore. And that resonates so much with me and this season and just even going on this trip. The things that used to terrify me, I'm talking terrify me, like my husband wanting to order pizza, my kids wanting to go to Surf and Spoon, which is their favorite ice cream restaurant. We went multiple times, girl, multiple times. And what did I get? I got a salted caramel ice cream gelato with Oreos, caramel drizzle, chocolate drizzle, and I think like sugar cookie or something. It was divine. I did it. I did it without thinking about doing it. And years ago, that would have broken me. And if I say all that and you're there, this is why you're listening to my show. I'm just a couple steps ahead of you, girl. I'm not better than you. I'm not bragging. I'm not boasting. I'm sharing vulnerably that if I can get here, so can you. And I get so passionate about this with my ladies and my podcast listeners because for whatever reason, we fully believe that somebody else has this magic ticket that we don't have. Friend, if I can do these things with my kids, if I can have pizza with my husband, if I can not work out once while I'm gone, and I can sit on the beach in a bathing suit and not have one feeling about my worth diminishing, I can't even put into words what that is like. And so when I say freedom is when something that used to scare you just doesn't scare you anymore, that is what it is. And so when I coach my clients, and if you work with me, then you know this about me, instead of looking at this larger vision, this, oh, I want to get to that. Of course you do. Like, that's why you're here listening to the show. And I believe that for you. But instead of getting there in your mind, I want you to go, what is one step forward where if I were to look back on where I was the year prior or 6 months prior, I know I've arrived. Like, I have done way better. Girl, it didn't start with me going to the beach and not having a thought. It didn't start with me going out to dinner with my kids or my husband or doing all these things or not working out while I'm gone. It didn't start with that. It started with tiny steps of permission and intention and selection of what I was going to do. Vacation for our family is simply bringing our chaos with us wherever we go. And we will gladly laugh about it. But in all seriousness, it really is just taking our lives and putting us in a different house with a better view and going, okay, what are we going to reflect on this week? What are we going to really process this week? Because I believe that when you can get out of your environment sometimes, right, you have a creative brain. And so every single time that I travel, I feel juices of creativity come to me for this podcast, for my business. And of course, I will say it over and over. God speaks to me. The beach, I don't know what it is, but he just does. And so as I was sitting there, our beach house was on the beach this year, which we were super blessed to be able to have that experience. And I thought to myself, I didn't just get here overnight where I could do those things and not have the guilt. But what I did do was remained consistent with small actions over time that led to big results. And what I wanted to come back and ask you is, are you remaining consistent with small actions over time that are leading to different results for your life? Because it's one thing for you to be able to judge yourself or get down on yourself or create shame or, oh, I'll never get there. But you have to do more than try to get there. You have to decide to do small actions consistently. You cannot be mad at yourself, friend, and measure progress of yourself if you haven't truly gone all in on yourself. If you don't hold yourself accountable to your own promises, I understand what that's like with this disorder. I understand that it hijacks our brain and we want to so badly get out of the prison, but then we find our mind stuck in the nonsense again. A lot of times that is what requires you to seek outside support. And I know for me, gosh, there wasn't coaching when I was going through my recovery and I was in the depths. But for me, outside support is what helped me flourish because I had to get outside of myself to find myself. And as I was reflecting on the beach this week, I just thought all the time spent. And instead of thinking about all those ice creams like I didn't participate in, or all the pizza that I wasn't allowed to have, or if I did allow myself to have it, I would have to make it. It would have to be a certain crust, and it would have to be certain pasta sauce, and it would have to be like, I just enjoyed the experience. When is the last time, friend, you just enjoyed the experience? Seriously. And as I was sitting here just thinking about what I wanted to talk about, it was really going, if I can do this, so can you. Because everything, girls, temporary. Everything. All of it. Even the best of it, especially the best of it, it is temporary. We have all had various experiences in our life. Even the heartbreaking experiences, like this eating disorder or this relationship that you have with food and exercise. It's an experience. That insecurity you feel, it's an experience. That pain you feel, it's an experience. The joy that you feel, it's an experience. But there is nothing that you will ever lose if you are constantly gaining experience. And I sat there on the back end of the deck, just really reflecting, again, listening to the waves going up and down, and thinking to myself, the God of the universe, like the creator of the world, made every single wave different. And yet I'm wondering if he made me well. I'm wondering if he had the perfect design for me. And I've spent years wondering if I could create that perfection. Do I know better than he does? Like, did I ever? And it got me thinking that your willingness to fail in life is going to be proportionate to your potential to gain and to grow in life. Time is going to pass either way. If you're putting in the work anyways, if you're constantly having those thoughts anyways, can't you create different thoughts to believe and different truths to believe about yourself that aren't going to give you the current prison in the mind that you're experiencing? Because the time doesn't ever stop. It's going to continue anyways. And so I was thinking, gosh, freedom to me is when something that used to scare the crap out of me doesn't anymore. When I used to get ready for the beach and go on a trip, oh my gosh, the mere thought of going and packing and not having my go-tos and wondering if we were going out to dinner, all of that chaos would put me in an anxiety-driven state. So much so that I was mean to everyone. I didn't want to be there. All of it. The fact that I can have like a more spontaneous relationship with going on vacation, and I say more spontaneous just because I'm still very rigid. I'm still a very structured human, like by nature. But the fact that I can do that and you can do that, I know that for you, is just an example of we think that we aren't capable of things. But what I want you to really sit and marinate on that I did while I was gone is that you don't have to have it all figured out right now. 10 years ago, I never would have pictured myself at this beach house, having this experience, being present completely, sitting on the beach, not having a care in the world about what other people thought about me, not looking at other people's bodies and going, oh my gosh, how can she look like that? Like not doing it at all. I was there with my kids. I played in the sand. I watched my son on his boogie board. It was dynamite. Like there's no other words for that. And how does that happen? I honestly believe it happens with continuously showing up for yourself and telling yourself that you can do hard things and doing the opposite thing from what that voice in your mind is telling you to do on repeat, day after day after day. And so what I wanted to pour into you today was like, don't believe the lie right now that this is how it's always going to be. If you believe that lie, then it is how it's always going to be. I have worked with women who come to me and they're like, Lindsay, I just feel like this is who I am and this is how it's always going to be. Well, then you're absolutely right because you've settled there. Sis, my encouragement for you today is don't settle. If you don't settle in any other area of your life, why are you settling with your own self? You are capable of doing really hard things. The truth is you just haven't done them. You haven't made the commitment, the choice, the decision to go all in on you. I believe that for you. I believe that you are wonderfully made. I believe that like every single seashell that was out there on that beach, you are unique, but you're not so unique that you get to skip out on the fact that you're capable of doing hard things. Yes, you're imperfect. And yes, life can be lifing. And yes, things can be hard. But you can build on what you've done in the past and just continue over time, get better and better. It's progress, it's practice, it's experience. Every experience that I've ever had has led up to me being able to coach you and to coach so many of my clients. And I'm so honored and blessed to be able to hold that dynamic. So, as I wrap up today's ramble, what I want to leave with you is really this reflection of your own. And I love that I had some reflection time. I love that I was able to unwind. I hope that you're able to do that this season as well. But you can do this anywhere. I want you to reflect on your life and where you're at in all areas of your life because your eating disorder will seep into every single part of your life. Why? Because it sucks the life out of you. And when you can start healing yourself and finding what makes you you and that spark lights up again, when you fully dive in to recovery, whether you're ready or not, and that's a whole separate topic, you open up windows of opportunity for relationships to change. I've seen marriages reconciled. I have seen so many different dynamics within the ladies that I'm able to serve and support in terms of relationships with their kids and their siblings and just their careers. For the first time in life, finding what makes them them, what makes you you. And that is what I did as well throughout my recovery journey. As I was reflecting, something came to me. You only get one life. One life. Just one. So why do you keep waiting for permission to live it? Why are you putting off what can be done today? Why are you waiting for the perfect moment to recover or the perfect season to go all in on yourself or for the fear to finally dissolve? Friend, the fear is not going to dissolve. You have to face it and run anyway. Run messy, run trembling, run half certain, but run toward the life that keeps calling your name. And what I'm so proud of, yes, and it's not to come here and brag about my journey or to say how recovered I am or to tell you all these wonderful positive things as you sit here in the Struggleville. I've been in the Struggleville, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. The question I wish somebody had asked me that I'm asking of you today is how much longer do you plan to hang out here? Because time is timing, like life is passing. Yes, it's hard. Recovering is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But what was harder was staying sick. And I just wanted to come on here and say what I noticed the most about this past week's vacation was I was present. I was with my family. I packed lunches and we went to the beach and we sat around and we went and did things. And I wasn't thinking about when I get home, I'm going to burn all this off. I wasn't comparing bodies or worried about bodies. I wasn't even doing any of that. And that doesn't happen overnight. It happens with consistent actions over time. So, why do you keep waiting for permission? Go out today and do the hard thing. I love you, sis. If you want to continue this conversation, I would love to have you join us in the private Facebook community. You can find us at herbestselfsociety.com. And if you're looking for more support, I have very limited availability right now. Go out and fill out a client application on the website, herbestself.co, if you're looking for personalized support. Until we meet again, have a super blessed week, and I'll see you real soon for another episode. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.